reading. Yeah, so on page 23, what do we see? Page 23. What is Kimani telling the daughter Tuni after recession and after the demand for change? What else is he saying here on page 23? What changes do we see on page 23? Yeah. What exact coup did they conduct? They made sure that they earn money without paying what? Tax. And when they are not paying tax, yet they are earning a lot, it affects other people because at the end of the reality, right? Yes. So Kimani is telling us that the MPs went to the parliament, and why in the parliament they suggested that their salaries should be increased. Not salaries, they don't call it salaries. What do they call them? The MPs, the politicians. How do they call whatever they earn? They call it coups. They call it allowances. They'll say they want standing allowance, sitting allowance, travel allowance, recreation allowance. What else? Hey, you people don't listen to them when they're in parliament, when they're arguing. They talk about they want footage of their vehicles so that they are given money that will cover mileage of their vehicles. They also want money for entertainment so that they have to be paid for televisions and all that. Then sitting allowance when they are in a meeting. Then they have travel allowance when they go abroad. For those of you who listen to Gloria or Roba, how much money does one parliamentarian get when they go abroad? In meetings, how much? If anyone listens. How much? Hey, there's no one here who is interested in politics. Politics is life. There's no way you will do without politics. And politics is what is affecting our life. And the worst thing is that people don't want to be informed about politics and what is happening. So even next year, you can fight with somebody saying, wacha turudisha huyu. And they cannot know the problems these people have done. Like, do you know what your MCA has missed and what he has achieved? Do you know? From where you come from? No. Do you know what your senator has done for you and what they have not done, yet they promised? Huh? Really? Fully you know that? Do you know what your governor promised and what they have achieved and what they have not? About the president, you know what he promised and what he has not achieved? Yes. How comes? Why? Why do you know about the president and not your MCA? And leadership starts from that MCA because they are elected. Then you go to the MP, then you go to the senator, then you go to the governor before you go to the president. So politics is something that affects your life. Look currently, do you have a school that has got the capitation money? Is there any school that has received? Why? Do all of you, when you go to hospitals, get free treatment? No. Why? But sure, most of your parents have not registered you. Yes. So why are you not getting it? But when you have paid for an insurance, you don't have money, do have money to go to hospital and get treated? Because like if you're in America and you have paid insurance, whenever you are sick, you just go to hospital, you are treated. You are not supposed to pay anything. So these are the things you are supposed to know. That's why I'm asking you, when you look on page 23, what is Kimani telling us? He is telling us that when the recession came, with time, the parliament, or rather the parliament was used by the politicians, especially the MPs, to demand for better allowances. And then they now said, this is not salary. You know, you only tax salary, right? You don't tax allowance. So they now changed everything into allowance, travel allowance, commuter allowance, maybe they called another one recreation allowance, another one entertainment allowance. So at the end of the day, you will not tax anything. Then they say our salary is only maybe 80,000, but at the end of the day, maybe they're earning even 900,000. Yet the lecturers, because he's telling us that the lecturers were earning better before, but currently they are not earning better than politicians. I don't know, for those of you who have relatives who are in the university, how much do you earn as a lecturer a month? From the normal lecturer to the senior lecturers. You have to find out. These are things you must find out so that you work hard not just to become a low earner. You don't get to a job that you'll earn low. Because the economies are worsening every day, right? Yes. Yeah, and also you see whether you can earn also from other things, whether it is through, whether you are good at dancing, content creation, you are good at acting, you are good at maybe, let's say, farming, so that you have multiple ways of earning to survive. So we see Kimani here is telling us that. And when you go to the next page, Tuni is trying to understand what those coups are, right? Because the coup, when you look at the dictionary, a coup is supposed to be when a government is overturned, right? But Kimani is not referring to that kind of coup. He is referring to a metaphoric coup in parliament where the parliamentarians decide to change laws to suit them. That is why he's calling it a coup. This part sometimes students don't understand, right? That is why I'm trying to expand so that in case you are answering a question, there are so many questions that come from this area talking about greed of the leaders and how it affects our economy. That's why I'm trying to make it clear to you. Don't think that we are just wasting time on that, okay? Yes. Now, the next page is page 26. Look at page 26. Tell me what you've seen on that page. You've not read that? I thought we read up to... Oh, I want us to look at page 24. What is on page 24? We can combine that with page 25. What do you see there? What do you see? Do you see anything there? Yes? What are we told there? Yes? Anyone who has seen anything there that is interesting to us? Yeah. Individualism.
The laws that raise their income.
So MPs making the laws that will raise their incomes. I don't know. Did you listen to the last session in Parliament? You were at home. Hey, I'm surprised that you people, you don't have interest totally in politics. They said that ladies don't have an interest in politics. Is that true?
Yes.
Why? And you don't want to become the next MP?
Yes.
Or the next woman representative in your constituency? Why? You don't want? It is? It is what? Politics are meant for men?
No.
Then why? God created you like that. Yeah? Your life? At risk. So when you are not in politics, you don't have any risk in life? The risks are not very high. My goodness, I'm seeing very faint-hearted citizens. And I don't expect you people who call themselves Gen Z. I don't expect Gen Zs to be like that. Because you are people who are informed, you have been brought up in a situation. Look at Jamaica, for example. The politics have just ended. They voted on third. Are you aware? No, you don't even know who is how the Jamaican politics run.
Yes.
My goodness. Hey, you do which other? Do you know that this? Do you know that this year Tanzania, Uganda, Cameroon, and Cote d'Ivoire will be having elections? You only know Tanzania and Uganda. Please be informed about world politics. Be informed. Because when you are informed, you get to talk about things so easily. And again, you don't have to necessarily be a politician. You can be a political analyst. We have political analysts who are doing content on politics, and they are thriving through political channels. How many of you know political channels in Kenya? The YouTubes, that is. I'm not talking about the media houses. Huh?
We don't know.
You don't know. You don't know the board. You don't know the news. It's called the Newsline Channel TV. You don't know Lema Queenie. You don't know Debbie Wafula's channel. So you people, you need to get interested in this, because politics, I always say, the reason why we always vote poorly every year is this kind of attitude. Whereby you are saying, I don't want anything to do with politics. I don't want, because I know most of you, if you have that kind of consideration, you will never even go to a bulletin and vote, will you?
No.
You will not. So we don't have to be that, because you are the ones to change the country for the better. And you are supposed to know the politics of America, politics of Africa, politics of Europe, and all that. Because what if you go to an interview and you are asked something related to that? What about if your career is hidden there and you don't know? Huh? You will start. Yeah, please start. Because actually, I used to just watch politics silently, but currently I have a channel which is political, and every evening, but from 7:21 onwards, I do one hour live stream, and people watch a lot, about 700 people minimum in 1 hour. They watch what you are doing, they comment. That's why I know a lot even about Jamaica, about Togo, because I keep looking around. That's why I know that Jamaica voted third and Holiness became the leader of Jamaica. That is why I know what's going on in Cote d'Ivoire, what's going on in... So it's an interesting area. So don't ignore it, all right? Yes? It is known as Life Saga. Life Saga TV. Life, then S-A-G-A. Life Saga TV. Okay. So politics is very sweet by the, and there are very few women. The reason why I'm telling you, some of you will become content creators. I know after Form 4 immediately, or even before, because there are people who have even have channels when they are still in school. And they are doing very well, because when you consistently do something over the holiday, people will watch. And if I know you have a channel, you tell me, I'll go watch and encourage you to keep on. Because there are people who are actually making a lot in the world out there through that. And once you get to have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours, you begin earning monthly. So what is the problem with that? I don't see any problem. And you can have as many channels as you want. For me, I have 4 channels. One is about stories for kids. Another one is about my music. Then there is one for politics and another for general life and academics. Anyway, I'm just encouraging you, because I don't want you to finish school, then you are not doing anything. Especially people from, you come from? You come from? Sudan. I've seen a given woman doing a lot of good content from Sudan. So if you join, you will be the fastest person to grow. People will really want very fast. Very fast. Okay, let's proceed so that we focus on what we are discussing here. Now, when you look at page 24, you've actually seen what? You've seen the beauty of Tuni, right? Yes. We've been told she was very beautiful, almost looking like the mother. The mother's eyes, which made her look like wings of an imported butterfly. Pure black in the middle, pure white at the margins, and inch-long eyelashes. Then, whenever she blinked, the eyes were fluttery, like they were about to fly away. They have also told us now from there that while the father is discussing with her, he makes her understand that change that has happened in Africa has been because of the tyranny of parliamentarians. Now, also during the holiday, I don't know whether you checked on most of the things that the politicians pass. Do they pass because they make sense for us? You didn't watch? My goodness. Anyway. But if you realize that it's not because they make sense for us. Because when you realize, like Sha, it has created a lot of stealing from many people paying ghost hospitals. There is one hospital they paid 53 million to, yet it does not exist. You can imagine. And yet here, there are students who have not been paid fees for. The government has not paid. Again, we have schools which receive ghost schools that receive money, whereas real schools don't receive. So those things, you realize that they are not working for us in reality. So Kimani tells the daughter that even when we change the leaders, the problem that is happening is that the monkeys are the same. Only the forests change. Now, what did he mean by monkeys here? Monkeys are politicians. What about the forest? The parties. Someone jumps from one party to another and they go into it and say, now we have come, we are going. I wish that Kenya would actually be like Jamaica. Because Jamaica, the politicians have done a lot of goodness to the people. Real on the ground, you vote people based on what they have done, not based on what they say. Because some people come, they cheat to us, and we listen and we celebrate and we vote for them, which is very wrong. We are supposed to vote for people based on what they do, not based on promises. Then also when someone comes and talks about tax money, then they say they have done a great thing. Like, I normally don't like this aspect of, you call them bursaries. Yes. Is that the government money? It's not. It is our taxes. Can you imagine? And then an MP comes and then they say, given this, it is not their money. It is not. It is our tax. So, in fact, in Parliament, if you are listening to politics, you would have heard there was a discussion on that, whether they should stop politicians totally from going to schools and parading students, then they give check. I've given a check of 3 million to this school, yet it's not their money. That is government money, and that government money comes from the money they tax from us every day. When we buy goods, when our salaries are being, when they pay our salary, they deduct a percent of that, around 30% of our salary. Then when you go to also travel, you pay on fuel and so much other things. So those are the information you want to know because you say you are risking your life. Okay. The next part is, we are also seeing in this story bad governance, right? And it is one question that is tested a lot from this book. The fact that personal safety has been left to you, so that you take care of your safety. Safety is supposed to be given by the government. That's why you have the police. They are supposed to be the ones to make sure that safety is there. But currently, if you are not taking care of your home yourself and your environment, there is a lot of unsafety. How many are coming from Nairobi from this class? Where is she? Currently, Nairobi, what is happening? And it started from Gong. What is happening? What is happening to the safety of the people? What is happening? Or when you go home, you don't go to even walk in the town. A lot of people are being dragged in the city. When you are walking, someone passes around you, they sniff you, they steal from you. In few minutes, you are left. They steal from you phones, money, and all you have to do. Then we have those now who are running around, and at some point they had said that they have been brought by Sakaja, the governor. So after the demonstrations, they are now jobless because Sakaja is no longer paying them. So they are just moving around the town and robbing people randomly, especially in the evenings. If you delay in town by 7:30 around there, you may be in a risk to be robbed. So let's go on to the next part now. We can read page 25 below up to 26. And by the way, all your books are political, unfortunately. The Samaritan is very political. Parliament of Alls, very political. So start loving politics. When you go to the Kiswahili book, especially Nguu za Jadi, political also. So start loving politics. Don't say you don't like it. Okay, so let's go on and read.
Having come of age in Kenya, no longer was it the marginal activity it once had been. It had matured into a fully fledged industry. Now it did not stop at just home protection. It covered other areas as well. In the transport area, it meant vehicles full of touch-me-nots and
What are we doing? What is happening? In the transport area?
In the transport area, it meant vehicles full of touch-me-nots and theft gadgets. In the tourism sector, it meant tour operators warning foreigners against showing valuables in public. In the workplace, it meant seminars on personal safety and so on.
Yes.
Professor Kimani viewed this growth in guarding with disapproval, to which he added contempt. He considered it a symptom of failure by the state to ensure the safety of its citizens. His daughter had a more practical view. Mom and Dad, do you want to hear something clever that I did today? She asked her parents busily at supper one evening. I attended a seminar on personal safety. That's what I did. Professor Kimani snorted. You call that clever? He helped himself to more food. To me, safety isn't a clever thing we do by attending seminars. It's a necessity that the provide to us. And if it can't, he did not answer. She waited. Still no reply came. Finally, Asiya answered. Then safety becomes a private arrangement that we have to make for ourselves. Sia, Professor Kimani preferred this form of his wife's name to its full version of Asiya. Sia, all that any private arrangement will do is to exempt the state from even trying to render the services that our taxes oblige it to give us. Mother and daughter looked at each other knowingly. How often had they heard him express that view? Yet he did not ignore reality at the expense of prosperity. People who don't like poverty and want prosperity temper their views with reality. He did not. Look at each other all you want. He told his wife and his daughter. Next you'll be saying you want to hire your own police and army. What will remain for the state to do? Whatever you say, Dad, Tuni said with a sigh. But before you change the world and get it to render the services our taxes ordinarily give us, some of us intend to keep on taking steps that assure our personal safety, such as precautions against male violence. Over 2/3 of women in this country witness it on other women or themselves. I'm not joking, Dad. That's what the seminar instructor said. Tuni turned to her mother. Mom, as a woman you should be showing me just a little more interest here. And I am, Tuni. Asia sat up to show more of it. Go on, Tuni, please. She said there are 3 reasons why women are easy prey. Asia knitted her brow into a question. She? Yes, Mom. The seminar instructor was a woman. The first reason, she said, is a lack of awareness of where we are. As women, we should always be keenly aware of where we are and of what is going on around us. The second reason is a look of weakness and helplessness. Instead of looking weak and helpless, we should appear strong and in control. The third reason is a temptation to stray. We should never walk into bad neighborhoods. Walk alone in alleys or take stairs when there are elevators. Professor Kimani leaned back in his chair. Another slow day at the office. Ha! Tuni, he sneered. Surely you knew all of that already. She glowered at him. Dad, this isn't about knowing. No, it's about doing. It is about women protecting themselves against criminals. Male criminals. Dad. She made this remark sound as if her father, another man, had made a criminal. Asia touched her gently in a calming gesture. Don't mind your father, Tuni. Now, what else did the instructor teach you? You are not going to like it, Mama. Oh, why won't I? Because it's what you do, and yet you should not do it. After completing an errand, shopping or whatever, women like to get in their cars and said the instructor. Just sit there for a while. Don't deny it, Mom. You do it too. No, I don't. Yes, you do. I do not. Never do it. Mom, a predator could be watching you. So the moment you get in your car, lock all the doors and drive off at once. What if a predator has a gun and has cornered you before you get in? Asia's arms flew up in panic surrender. Tuni, stop it. The predator has a gun. The arms rose higher. Then you comply. Tuni, you do as she says. Wrong. Listen to me. Tuni, I am your mother. You comply. Mother, comply. I said. Mom, our instructor explained why it makes sense to run away instead. I don't care what your stupid instructor said. All right, Mom. Now, suppose you are driving with a predator seated beside you. Asia flew. Tuni, I'm not sure I want to hear this. Crash the car. What? Tuni, are you out of your mind? Crash it hard. This will immobilize the predator with surprise and allow you to escape. But our family only has that dying old Toyota. Yes, crash it. Tuni turned back to her father. By the way, Dad, is there any chance of me using the car tomorrow? He winced. The question might well have been that an enemy had shot into his face to mock him. He fumbled for an excuse but told the truth instead. Our car is down again. Tony, he said lamely. I have it fixed as soon as I get my next salary. Asia was looking at him. Once she had seen him as a young man going places. Now she only saw an old man going nowhere. His very car had become a metaphor about him. It was going nowhere as well. Later that evening, she offered him an idea. Karanja, leave the university and go to greener pastures somewhere. In the woods, this idea opened on him. She rubbed salt with a comparison. Newborn left the university and went to greener pastures somewhere. Now look, he is an MP with 4 cars. His heart, before going to parliament, newborn Walomu, a Roni fellow from a minor tribe without roads or schools, had been a junior colleague of Professor Kimani at the university. Yes, his heart. So why did Professor Kimani not leave as well? Because he was a born teacher. He always told Asia, and so a teacher, he would die. Losers such as Walum swam in money. He would explain, only because even failed states have a few mansions. Since losers like him what fellow losers, losers invariably end up occupying some of those mansions. Still losers will always be.
Okay, good. We have at least finished reading. Now we have to go back and do. By the way, are you going home tomorrow, all of you?
No.
How many? How many know that they have a big? How many have a balance for this term, the entire term? That is the 12K. 12,000, I think, this term. Oh, 8. Huh? How many? So which means lessons will still go on because they are not, because maybe possibly if they are looking, they look at that. They may, now that it's term 3, they may be considering whether you've covered or you have these terms balanced. So I was just checking to know whether tomorrow there are lessons or no lessons. Did they tell you anything to do with that?
No.
Okay. So we have to discuss that first part. The first part after page 25. So we were talking about the aspect of the politicians and all that. So what is shown at 25 below? What are we learning from there? What have we learned? Yeah. How do you know this insecurity?
The transport area is made of vehicles full of touch-me-not and garbage.
Yeah. So if you have a vehicle and you park it carelessly, someone will drive away with it, go change the number plate and disappear with it totally, right? Yes. Well, we've seen these situations, especially there is a time they were stealing this vehicle that was once a taxi. How is it called? The long... Yes? It's called what? Not Townness. There is this other, Probox. People are stealing a lot at some point. But currently they are stealing a lot Toyota. I don't know for whatever reason. So if you leave it carelessly, someone steals it, in 1 hour you'll never get it. They remove that number plate and also they remove the tracking. Then they leave it somewhere on the mountain or somewhere in the river. So while they are checking, they'll be seeing that it's at Sabwani, but it is now on the border of Uganda already. And it's sold. So that's happening. So it means that you have to have touch me not anti-theft gadgetry so that you not, when somebody touches your car, you not. There is a time I saw I was around the airport space, and someone tried to steal a certain car, and they were trapped inside. So those kind of vehicles whereby you create something that somebody can enter but they cannot get out or drive away. We also see insecurity in tourism, right? Yes. Such that now tourists cannot have their phones and computers free. There's also another, for those who come from Nairobi, this Jogoo Road, when you are coming from town, just near the stadium. You know those places, right? There's a lot of theft happening there. If you are driving by and you leave your window open, your phone might go, or your computer or anything, a gadget in the car. And now when you are areas of the slums, people go stealing even the windscreen. You know, by the time you are away, you have lost almost everything. So you must warn the tourists and tour operators on being very careful. Then in workplaces, what are we being told? In workplaces, what insecurity is there? Or how are people handling that? Yes. Yeah, holding seminars of security, personal security. Mr. Murunga was just robbed here the other term. He was leaving and it was as early as 7:40. Then he saw a motorbike coming very speedy. People stopped, they had a panga, very sharp one. They wanted to cut him up and snatched the phone, took away the bag, demanded for the PIN. And it's happening also here a lot. Even today, Shitiavai's news gave that information that insecurity in this area is very rampant, so that border borders even fear getting to the roads when beyond 8, they are afraid because they may be attacked. So that kind of situation is also noted. Now here, we are also told that now Kimani feels that it's wrong for this to be happening and the government is not offering security. But what does Tuni and the mother feel? On page 26, what does Tuni and Asia feel? Do they feel the same as Kimani? No. What do they feel? Yeah. Yeah, they feel that personal security, you should take care of yourself, even if it means hiring a security to walk around with you. You've seen people like Obina. How many of you listen to Obina? At least that one, we have someone who listens. You know, when he goes to places, he has personal security. He has these bouncers that walk around with him to protect him. And maybe you can also check on other people that are popular, and that is what they are doing. We have also people who are now hiring we call them what? Like, how do we call these companies? They are security firms, right? If you hire them in your home, it means you pay them monthly from your pocket. It's not the work of the government, but you. Sometimes we have people who have watchmen in their homes, right? Yes. Yeah, so that is what Tuni and Asia feel it should be. Now, what is it telling us about the government? So it is telling us about government negligence, the aspect of negligence in the government. They are not playing their role as it should be. So it is poor leadership also. Now, what else does Tuni ask them or inform the mother that is causing insecurity, especially on women? What is causing insecurity on women according to Asia? Not Asia, but Tuni. Yes. If I may ask you, are you always aware about your environment?
Yes.
How? You know, when you learn martial arts, whether it's Shoronya, Taekwondo, Shotokan, or Judo, or anything, you are very sensitive to anything around you and away. You are taught to listen to sounds, listen to your intuition. If your intuition tells you I should not use this, don't use that road. Then to be very sensitive about people around you. If you realize you're in a town and somebody is really squeezing themselves, you better hit them. Because there's a high possibility they are robbing from you. That is what you are taught in martial arts, by the way, to defend yourself. The other thing, you are always taught to use the right shoes. Because if you are using the kind of shoes that are open shoes or the high heels, it's very hard enough for you to defend yourself using that. Like, how do you spring very fast and deal with whoever is handling you? And you are supposed to use that. Then you are always taught also to be ready. Like, if someone is at a distance, do you attack from close or do you extend your leg? You are supposed to learn. So these things, you learn them. And I may advise you, especially any of you is going to stay in any town, please learn whether it's taekwondo, shoronye, shotokan, judo, or whichever. It's very important for a woman. Very important. So that we have that one which you do this, you use your hand and you attack the eyes because they are the easiest. If you attack it, nobody will deal with it. And we have those which you have to hit, and we have those which you have to swing. So you have to learn all those, because those tactics help you to survive. Don't just stay. Because being aware of the environment is about who is close to you and which place. Also avoid walking on thin places. Like if you are in a town and there is a pathway and there is a street, better use a street. Don't use the lane. Because in a lane, if two people attack you, you don't have space to swing and fight. But if you have an open space, you have space for that. Also avoid walking in the night, especially if you are a woman, because those are vulnerable moments. Also, when you're going upstairs, be very aware. What kind of building is this? Is someone following me? You must be careful of that, because there is a time you must be sensitive, not the person who is walking behind you. Which color of the cloth? And how are they walking? Have you ever known you are walking, someone walks according to your speed. You are walking fast, they walk fast. You walk slow, they walk slow. You stop, that one tells you, You say this one, no. So you either sometimes stop and look at them so that you see. If it's one person, they'll now pass. By the way, that has, when I was always here on duty at night, that's what I used to be very cautious about. If you are following me at night and you're walking slowly when I walk slowly, walk fast when I walk fast, then I just stop and wait and look at you. Let you pass, then I go. Because I don't know your mission. But when you realize you're being attacked by people with weapons and you don't have a weapon, or you are not so sure how you'll handle the machete or whatever, branch somewhere. Let the people pass and go ahead. So you have to learn about this, because these are things you'll experience in life, and it can be very traumatizing to be raped. You have not encountered a relation, you don't want a relation, but you are raped, and it becomes a very traumatizing moment. Or you lose some things, yet you don't have maybe a plan to have a better. Then don't get into vehicles. Maybe you enter a vehicle, you realize the people there, maybe they are only one gender, especially the opposite. That happens in Nairobi a lot. You get into a vehicle, maybe all the people are just men. Do you proceed? Don't. Alight and get into another. Then the situation of greeting people in main town stop, because people are dragging others a lot. So those are the awareness that Tuni is talking about here, and that is why people need seminars on safety, personal safety. Yeah? On personal safety. And then we are also told something else. What does Tuni tell the mother? What happens with vehicles, especially when you use a personal car? What do most people who attack people with personal cars do? When you have gone to shop and you have parked somewhere a car. Yes. Yeah? So whenever you have a personal car, don't just enter and drive away. Look around. Because it's possible when you left, someone went in. Even the houses, by the way. There was an old woman, an in-law to someone I know. She used to, like when the rains are coming, the kids go back to their homes to fetch water. And the old woman could be alone in the house. So one evening, when she had done that, I think there was someone who had passed by earlier to ask whether she will buy some napier grass for her cows. And she had said no. This individual seemed not to have gone away. So when the kids went, the person must have entered the house somehow, whichever way, because we have back doors and front doors. So he went in and hid somewhere. So the moment the kids left during the rain, this man hit the woman here. By the time the granddaughters were coming back and grandchildren, they found she's holding her brains and it's pouring out with blood. And she's crying and saying, how can I die such a painful death? And that's the last thing she said. As they rushed her to hospital, she died. So you can imagine, also check your houses. Because if you have back door and front, you may have someone having come into the house and hidden somewhere. And also, just as an old person, you should not always be alone. So those are insecurities we are facing. And that's why we are told to be very cautious about our environment and the people around us. And also to make sure that you check even if it's a vehicle before you drive away. And in case a predator is there, Tuni says you should do what? You crash it. You crash the car. You better crash. Maybe you'll be safe to jump over. I don't know whether you watched the story of America. There was a given lady who jumped over the bridge and fell in water, and she was safe when the vehicle was being driven away. So you may be safe than when you just keep staying there. Maybe this person will choke you and drive away with the car. Now, why is Asia uncomfortable with that aspect of crashing the car? Why is she comfortable with it? Yes.
Because she said their family had only that one old.
They only have one old Toyota that is old, and so if they crash it, they are done. Remember, the salaries of the lecturers, as said there, is not enough. Then, what does Tuni then do? What does Tuni ask the father to offer? Yeah, she wanted to borrow the car so that she can go somewhere the next day. And what did the father maybe respond? What was the response of the father? Yes. The car was down again and it needed repair, and the lecturer or the professor had to wait for the salary. And that is why I encourage you people, you are young, explore. When you finish school and you have passed, you can even look for jobs in developed countries, because salaries there are better. They pay based on hours, not based on month. So don't just stay in Kenya and be comfortable, because Kenya is somehow overloaded. But go to developing countries, Canada, what have you, they have better opportunities. So you realize that now Kimani cannot offer the car to the daughter. And you will see what happened later in the story. For those of you who have read to the end, you know what happened. So, does Asia still love Kimani? Why or why not? Can someone tell us? From that part of the unit, what do we see? Yes.
Yeah, she just asked that once she had seen Kimani as a young man, but now he's just an old man sitting going nowhere.
Yeah, so he was so, when he began as a senior lecturer. He's there causing a lot of change in Nairobi University, so he saw him as someone who has the future. But now, here he is with an old Toyota car. The salary, he has to wait for the end month to do anything. So she begins to kind of feel like this man is not going anywhere. The life that I needed. Remember one thing that we blame Kimani for. If you know you cannot maintain a woman, then you would rather go for a normal woman. But going for a beauty pageant, do you know what it means by a beauty pageant?
Yes.
They have to be maintained, right? Yes. Like some of you do watch influencers. Can you maintain Vera Sidika with the little money? Huh? You can't. So why did he even go for the beauty pageant? The beauty campus has to be maintained. She cannot settle for that life that is just common. So she begins to see that here things cannot work. And of course, for those of you who have read to the end, you know what happened. So We see that there is one problem with Karanja Kimani in this chapter. What is that problem? What is the problem with him? Yes. Yeah. I don't think it's right. For me, if I get a job today in Saudi Arabia, or which is better, I'll be living like hot potato and go away. How can I stay in there and say, born teacher, die teacher? For what? For what? Will that teacher feed my children and give them the better life? If it is not giving me what should make better life, I cannot say die teacher, born teacher. So Kimani is so rigid. And I wonder, because the people from Mount Kenya are not rigid. And I thought that the author was playing us, because really, at least you could expect someone else with a different name to be that. But Karanja, of all the people, Karanja Kimani, how can he be so rigid, staying and saying, I'm born teacher, die teacher, only losers reward their fellow losers. They have money, but they don't have brains. How? I don't understand anyway. That's literature. So we see that Walomo was a fellow teacher in the university, but he went to politics. And Tuni is trying to tell Kimani, can you go for politics? And he said, politics is not for me. I was born a teacher, I'll die a teacher. The wife also tells him, when you see your wife or your husband telling you, can you go for this? You better think twice. When Asiya told him that, can you leave this and go for greener pastures? That is when he should have changed his mind. But he was still so rigid, sticking to this, yet it's not giving them the life they need. So later on, we may blame him. And I'm insisting on that because there is a question set on that. There is a question that says, who is to blame for Kimani's life? Write an essay. So I want you to think in that line. That's why I'm discussing in that way. So have a good day. In case maybe tomorrow we'll be having lessons, we'll see where to proceed. Yeah. Bye.